So what I often say to leaders when I'm doing trainings is around this idea of, I don't have all the solutions for you. Some of you may be calling in from different industries, from different countries, from different regions around the world, from different levels of organizations. So there's not one thing where I can say, just do this. So what I often say is, it's about asking better questions as leaders, right? Asking a question doesn't mean you're an idiot. It doesn't mean you don't know. It means I'm looking for input. I'm looking for insights into this. So these are some of the key questions that I give to leaders to go back to their organizations to ask. These are the really important questions that we can ask of ourselves, we can ask of other leaders, we can ask throughout the organization to start to get a really good sense of what kind of organization have we built. Not what have we tried to build, not what do our documents say, but actually fundamentally, what is people's lived experience being in our organization, being a part of our organization? Do they know what our core values are? Do they know why our organization exists? What do we actually incentivize in this organization? I know what we say we organize, or what we say we value. We say we want camaraderie and respect, and those, but who gets promoted? How do you get a bonus? Those are very clear signals to people about what's actually most important. So again, if you want to come back from this crisis as a better organization, start asking those questions, because that's an opportunity to say, well, look, we say we want to come back as an organization that thrives on collaboration, but all of our bonus schemes, which is our big incentive process, is fixated on individual performance. So we've got a mismatch there, right? We say we want collaboration, we've built incentives around individual performance. One of those needs to change, or else they're always going to be in tension. So you need to not just say the organization is going to be different. You need to ask questions, use that information to think about, okay, how do we design it differently? How do we explicitly go about being a different organization on the other side of this crisis that, again, gets rid of stuff that was a waste of time or was counterproductive before, and takes opportunities, seizes new chances that come on the other side of a crisis? So you may need to remodel in essentially 3 ways. So again, before I talked about a set of 3, you need to have, why do we exist? What's most important? And then what do we do? Purpose, values, and mission. As you establish those, you'll need to look at building that into your organization. And how do you build it into your organization? It needs to be an explicit, proactive attempt to build this in. You can't just say it once in a meeting and expect it to happen. You need to invest the time, the effort, the energy, engaging the people to actually build it. And you build it across 3 components that exist in every organization. Structure, the rules, the regulations, the policies, the procedures. I put regulations in there twice. Apparently I was very excited about regulations. I don't know why. It's funny how you see these things only when it's time to present. And the physical spaces. So again, if you say that you want to have collaboration, you want to be a collaborative organization, and you put all of your senior management on one floor of the building and everyone else on different floors, well, are you really invested in collaboration? If you walk around your office and you say we want to have collaboration and everyone's doors are closed, do you really want collaboration? Now that we're doing work from home, how are you going to do collaboration in a different environment? You can't just expect people to go, well, now I'm going to collaborate. How do we make it easier for people to do the things that we want? So that's structures, rules, regulations, policies, procedures. Okay, so you might need to change it. You might need to go into the handbook and start changing it. You might need to change the promotion criteria. All of those are things that help us to figure out what are the structures that we need to change. Your culture. Be explicit about what kind of culture you want. And to be clear, every organization develops a big culture and lots of little cultures. That's going to happen whether you want it to or not. So it's far better to say explicitly, this is the kind of culture that we want to create. Don't just hope it gets there. Say it, literally say it, write it down, and then talk to people about how can we help create this type of culture. Because it's going to get a culture one way or the other. You want to be explicitly and proactively working towards developing a specific culture for your organization. Not a great one that works for everyone, for your specific organization. And finally, the third part of every organization, and I would argue the most important part of any organization, are the people. Who is included in the organization and who is not included in this organization. And we're seeing, obviously, there's lots of protests right now around Black Lives Matter. So there's issues, again, across lots of countries, lots of regions of the world around racism, sexism, all these different isms that are creating these divisions, excluding some people, including other people, but also just on a day-to-day basis, what happens in a lot of organizations, only ideas from people with certain titles are given weight. So are you missing out on all this brain power in your organization because they don't have the right title, as opposed to thinking about how do we get the best ideas? So who are the people who are in this space, who are not in this space? And also, are the people in the space actually empowered and engaged, as opposed to just holding a seat at the table, but being silenced in some way? So your organization, as you come out of this crisis, might need work in all three of those areas. It might need work in just one or two, but that's what you want to think about. If we're actually going to be different on the other side of this crisis, you want to proactively manage these things and be specific. This is what we're trying to create. These are the changes we're making, and this is why, because it speaks to our purpose or our values.